I'm going to show you now how to calculate average student performance for these different data sets, Pearls, PISA, and TIMSS, which, by the way, you can, once you've imported these data sets, you can view by just clicking on this object. So this is the data for Pearls, this is PISA, and this is TIMSS. So these are the data sets that we have imported for selected countries and variables. We're going to use the mean PV functions that you have for the different data sets, PISA, TIMSS, and Pearls, for calculating average performance by education system. And the first example, which is this line, calculates math performance by country or education system and takes as an input the label of the plausible values variables, which is the suffix of these variables. So the variables are called PV1 math, PV2 math, so you only need to enter here the suffix of these variables, which is math. And by is a grouping variable, so we have only one here, but it could be more than one, and data is the data set that we are analyzing. I'm going to highlight and run this line, and as you see, we have produced here an output including average math performance for the systems that are included in our dataset that we selected when we were importing the dataset. Also, we have the standard deviation and standard errors for both statistics. You could also export directly this output into a file by changing the argument export, which is equal to false by default, to true. So we are adding a couple of arguments here to PISA mean PV, export and name. We are asking PISA mean PV to export the output and to name it PISA average by sex, because now we are also producing a different output. This is not only by country but also by the student's sex, which is this variable. So I'm going to highlight these two lines and run them, and you get the output here, as you can see. So you have the average performance for boys and for girls in each of the education systems that were selected in the data. Again, standard errors and standard deviations too. But we also exported this output somewhere. We don't know yet where, but because I can show you here that these mean PV functions by default export into this folder, which is your working directory, I know that the data and the file has been created here, which is my working directory, and this is a comma separated value file that you can open directly from different spreadsheets. Here I am using LibreOffice, so this is my output. Also, you could calculate mean performance for TIMSS, and the structure of the function is basically the same. The only thing that is different here is that the label that you enter for Pearls, instead of being the suffix, is the prefix here of the plausible value variables. Again, we are doing the analysis by country. So I can highlight this and you will see the output. These are the countries that are included in our TIMSS 8G object. And equally, you could store this output in a file here, changing the argument export to true and naming the file, so it produces the output by the student sex, as you can see here, and also creates a TIMSS average by sex comma separated value file that you can open and see here. The same for Pearls. You can here in this example we are performing calculating average performance, reading performance by country and by sex.